Were you raised by a narcissist or someone who was emotionally immature and you can't figure out why you second guess yourself? Well, I'll tell you why. So imagine growing up and you had an idea or you saw something from a different light and someone told you that, no, you're wrong. It's not like that. You go outside and it's cloudy and the person tells you it's sunny. So now you start to look at it like, you know what? Maybe it is sunny out there. What that is, it's called gaslighting. So when someone who nurtures you tells you that, when someone who nurtures you alters the reality you see, you begin to stop trusting yourself. So how was that important? So now it changes the definition of things or the lexicon of things. And one of the things is abuse. So someone that's abusing you can tell you, hey, this is love. I'll give you a case in point. I was raised by a parent who was from the Deep South. And in the Deep South, they beat kids. So, you grow up thinking, okay, this is good. When your kid acts up, you just beat him. Because you'll see adults laughing, like, oh, what did your kid do? Oh, yeah, I did this. And, and then, or someone tells you, they hit you and then you cry and they look at you, oh, I'll give you something to cry about. Well, I'm already crying. So you internalize like this rage and this anger, and it breaks down your sense of self. So with the breakdown of yourself, that also breaks down how you see yourself and, trusting yourself. And you start to question your own integrity. And ultimately you learn to stop trusting yourself. So you second guess yourself. How many times have you taken a test and you saw the answer and you were like, no, that can't be it because you came up with it? Or yeah, you grew up around someone who invalidated your answers or invalidated your responses or invalidated your input. And it doesn't just go away because as you become an adult, you are what you attract what you are. So you get around more people that invalidate you and make you small. So growing up with a narcissist, you become small. You become a smaller version of yourself. If you gain weight, it'll be great. No. Anyway, you become, you think small. You see things small. You make yourself fit things places you shouldn't be. I can't imagine how many people were raised by narcissists who should have been singers or engineers or entrepreneurs or inventors or anybody, but they let an adult squash their dreams. They made themselves so accommodating to someone who had no good intentions for them. So with that said, you probably second guess yourself because you're around people who didn't validate you. So I'm telling you right now, try to gain some small wins and validate yourself. Do something. Do something and sit back and be like, you know what? I'm proud of myself. I did that. Because you probably grew up around someone who they just expected you to do it and it was like no big thing. But start to make things big things. You do something you're proud of, say, look, I'm proud of, I did that. I do car stuff and it's challenging, but I like the challenge. I go into businesses and I help businesses. I like the challenge because you know what? I could put my mark on that. That's part of my character. That's my integrity. Don't let anyone put you in a situation where you make yourself small because that's going to destroy you. Because the challenge is when this person ultimately passes away, they're going to leave you this inheritance for you that doesn't serve you at all. So you want to prepare yourself for when that day comes, that you're able to make a life for yourself. Because, and it's going to be in another video, narcissists do not set their kids up for future of fulfillment. They actually set them up for a future of failure. But that's another video. I'm just going off on a rant today. But do some things you're proud of. Get yourself some wins. Go for a walk and say, hey, look, I did that. Even if it's 10 feet or a mile, or get on your bike and ride, do it. Because like I said, the narcissist, if you were raised by a narcissist, you were their personal concierge. You were the parent. And your existence was an inconvenience for them. So, do you. Love you.